Stop chasing women. Let them chase you instead. Here's the hard truth. Women don't fall for men who are always available, overly eager, or bending over backward for their attention. If you're the guy constantly texting first, double-checking her every move, or planning your life around her, you've already lost. Women don't chase men who seem desperate. They chase men who feel just out of reach, men who are a challenge. And that's what this video is about. Flipping the script and becoming the guy she can't stop thinking about. It's not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding human nature, particularly a woman's desire for what she can't easily have. The harsh reality is that people, not just women, value what they perceive as rare and hard to obtain. This is where most men go wrong. They make themselves too available, too predictable, and too easy to figure out. That's not attraction. That's comfort. And comfort isn't what keeps her up at night, wondering if you're thinking about her. Now, let's get real. If you're sitting there wondering why she's not chasing you, it's probably because you've made her the center of your world. You've handed her all the power in the relationship. Women aren't wired to chase men who've already surrendered their worth. They're drawn to men who stand firm in their value, men who don't just hand over their time, attention, and energy like it's free candy. This isn't about being cold or arrogant. It's about creating a dynamic where she starts to wonder about you. She'll ask herself, why isn't he texting me as much as other guys? Why does he seem so busy and in control of his life? And why can't I stop thinking about him? The key is not just to be desirable, but to be unforgettable. Throughout this video, I'm going to teach you how to tap into this dynamic. You'll learn how to stop chasing and start attracting. How to position yourself as the kind of man women naturally want to pursue, not because you're playing tricks, but because you're living in a way that makes you magnetic. This might sound controversial, but that's because most men have been fed the wrong narrative. Society tells you to be overly accommodating, to cater to her every need, to prove yourself worthy of her. Guess what? That's a recipe for being overlooked, friend-zoned, or at best, tolerated. If you want to flip the game and have women actively chasing you, it starts with changing how you view yourself and how you interact with them. So, buckle up. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the psychology behind making a woman chase you, you'll know how to make it happen instantly. The power dynamic is about to shift, and she'll be the one chasing you from now on. 1. Stop giving her all your attention. The first step to making any woman chase you is to stop being the guy who is always available. Sounds harsh, right? But here's the truth. When you constantly give her all your attention, you devalue yourself. She's not going to chase you if she knows she can have you anytime she wants. Women want to feel like they're chasing something that's worth the effort, not something that's always there waiting for them. Think about it. The guy who's always texting first, asking her how her day was, or checking in every couple of hours sounds like he's got nothing else going on in his life. And that's the problem. If you don't have your own life, your own interests, and your own things to do, why would she chase you? You've already given her everything she needs to feel secure in your attention. Here's where most men go wrong. They think that if they're constantly available, it will impress her. But women don't find it attractive when a man drops everything just to respond to her. It feels like she's the center of your world, and frankly, that's not intriguing. It makes you seem desperate, and desperation is a turnoff. Instead, try this. Stop being the first one to text. Wait a little while. Don't always reply instantly. Make her wonder about you. Let her feel like she has to reach out first, and when she does, make sure your response is thoughtful but not overly eager. You're busy with your own life, right? She needs to see that. For example, let's say you've been talking to a woman and she sends you a text in the middle of the day. Don't reply immediately, especially if you've been talking to her consistently. Wait an hour or two, or even longer if possible. When you do reply, keep it cool and casual, without over-explaining. Show her that you have a life that's just as important as hers, and she'll start seeing you as someone worth pursuing, not someone just sitting around waiting for her to text. By not giving her all your attention, you create a sense of scarcity. You're not always there when she wants you, and that makes you more intriguing. Women chase men who make them feel like they have to earn their attention, not those who give it out for free. If you want her to chase you, stop being at her beck and call. Make her realize she has to put in the effort if she wants a piece of your time and attention. Trust me, this shift will make her see you in a completely different light. 2. Be mysterious, not predictable. Being predictable is one of the quickest ways to lose her interest. Women are naturally drawn to men who have an air of mystery, who don't reveal everything about themselves right away. The more you expose yourself, your habits, your routines, your plans, the less intriguing you become. When you're always accessible and an open book, there's no challenge for her. The key to making a woman chase you is to keep her guessing, and that's where mystery comes into play. Think about the last time you were really intrigued by someone. What made them stand out? It was probably because they didn't immediately tell you everything about themselves. There was something about them that kept you wanting to know more. This is exactly what you need to do. Don't be the guy who shares every detail of his life or his feelings right away. Instead, be the guy who's selective about what he reveals, keeping her curious and wanting to learn more. Now, I'm not saying you should be secretive or play games, but don't over-communicate everything you're thinking or planning. If she asks what you're doing, you don't need to tell her every detail of your day. A simple, "I've got some things to take care of, but I'll talk to you later," is enough. Keep her guessing about what you're up to and when you'll be available next. This will spark her curiosity and make her want to know more about you. For example, imagine you've been texting with a woman and she asks if you're free tonight. Instead of saying, "I have nothing planned, what's up?" try saying something like, "I've got some things going on, but I'll let you know later if I'm free." You're not being vague for the sake of it. You're creating space for her to wonder what you're doing and whether she's important enough to get your time. This small shift in how you respond will have her wondering what you're up to and why you're not jumping at the chance to hang out with her. This approach creates an aura of mystery that makes her feel like she needs to work harder to figure you out. When you're unpredictable, she can't just guess your next move or assume she knows everything about you. Instead, she'll be thinking, "What's he really up to? Why isn't he available right now? What makes him so busy?" The more questions she has about you, the more she'll want to chase you to get answers. The power of mystery lies in showing just enough to keep her interested without giving everything away. Leave her with a sense of wonder and anticipation. When she doesn't know everything about you, she'll be constantly thinking about you. And that's when she starts to chase. 3. Show her you have options. Here's a hard truth. If you want a woman to chase you, you need to show her that you're not desperate for her attention. This doesn't mean you need to be rude or act like you're too good for her, but it does mean you should let her know, without saying a word, that you have other things going on in your life. When you show her that you have options, whether it's other women, exciting opportunities, or simply a full, busy life, she starts to see you as someone with real value. And that's when she starts to chase. You've probably heard it before. Women are attracted to men who have their own lives, who aren't completely dependent on their attention or validation. This isn't about playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being the kind of man who's in demand, not just by her, but by the world around you. When a woman sees that you're not just sitting around waiting for her to make the next move, it flips the power dynamic. She no longer feels like she's in control of the situation. She sees you as someone with a life that's interesting and fulfilling, and that's what makes you more attractive. When she knows you're not hanging on every word she says or every text she sends, it makes her realize that you have better things to do than constantly chase after her. Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean you need to be out with other women every night to prove you have options. It's about making sure your time and energy aren't solely focused on her. It's about letting her see that you have your own goals, your own passions, and your own circle of people who appreciate you. When you're constantly available and eager, it shows that you're not doing anything with your time. But when you have a full schedule, you become that much more intriguing to her. If you've ever had a job or a hobby that you're passionate about, you know the feeling of being immersed in something that takes up your attention. You're focused, driven, and you're not worried about what anyone else is doing or thinking. Women find that confidence attractive. When you're busy building something meaningful in your life, whether it's your career, personal development, or hobbies, you show her that you're not relying on her for validation. And when you're not relying on her, she starts to chase you. When a woman sees that you're not desperate for her attention, that you've got other things in your life that are just as important, it sparks something inside her. She'll start to wonder if she's losing her chance with you. She'll start to wonder if maybe she's not the only one who sees your value. And that's when she'll start making the effort to get your attention. If you want to flip the script and make her chase you, start showing her that you've got options. Whether it's your career, your passions, or your social life, make sure she sees that you're not sitting around waiting for her to decide when you're worthy of her time. Be the man who's already in demand, and she'll be the one trying to catch up. 4. Focus on your own goals. First, let's be brutally honest here. Too many men are out here chasing women instead of chasing their own goals. You're so focused on making her like you, you forget the most important thing, your own purpose. The truth is, if you're not prioritizing your own dreams, ambitions, and growth, you're doing it all wrong. Women are attracted to men who have a direction in life, men who know where they're going and are actively working toward it. You may not like hearing this, but it's time to wake up. If you're spending more time thinking about what she's doing, how to impress her, or when she'll text you back, you're missing the bigger picture. Women are not drawn to men who lack ambition. They are not interested in men who revolve their lives around pleasing them. If you're not living with a sense of purpose, if you don't have a clear vision for your future, then why should she chase you? You're just another guy waiting for validation. Real talk. When you focus solely on a woman, you put yourself in a position of weakness. You've made her the center of your universe. And guess what happens when you do that? You lose your value. You stop being interesting. Men who are obsessed with a woman's attention or approval become boring. Women want to be with men who are so consumed by their own lives that they don't have time to chase after every woman who crosses their path. Now, you don't need to be the next billionaire or a world-class athlete to have goals. It's about being driven. It's about showing that you've got a plan, that you're always improving, and that you're not waiting for someone to come along and fix your life. Whether it's your career, fitness, personal growth, or a side project, you need to make it clear that your goals come first. The moment you show a woman that you've got your own life together and that you're not depending on her to make you feel complete, you'll notice the shift. Suddenly, she'll be chasing you. Here's some tough love. Too many men are stuck in the mindset that their happiness depends on a woman's attention. You're looking for external validation instead of internal growth. You're waiting for her approval instead of working on becoming the best version of yourself. Wake up. This is the fastest way to lose your power. You need to focus on your own ambitions because that's what makes you attractive. When you focus on your own goals, you start living in a way that makes women take notice. You become a man who's already busy, already successful, already moving forward. And that's exactly when she starts wondering how she can fit into your world because she sees you're a man of value. If you're sitting around waiting for her attention, you're just another guy in the crowd. But if you're living with purpose and drive, you'll stand out. And that's when women start chasing you. So, get your head in the game. Focus on your goals. Stop waiting for someone else to validate your worth. Women are drawn to men who are going places, not men who are just waiting for the next text to come through. Give her space to miss you. This is one of the simplest yet most powerful things you can do if you want a woman to chase you. Give her space. That's right. Stop being available all the time. Stop texting her nonstop and always being there when she calls. Instead, take a step back and give her the chance to miss you. When you're always around, always available, and always eager to respond, you become too predictable, and she takes you for granted. But when you give her space, you're creating a void. And guess what happens when there's a void? She starts to feel the need to fill it, which, in this case, means chasing you. Here's the hard truth, and it might sting. You're not doing yourself any favors by constantly seeking her attention. You think that being constantly available will make her appreciate you more, but in reality, it makes you look needy. Women don't chase needy men. Neediness is a red flag. It screams desperation. And I get it. It's tough not to want to be there for her all the time. But if you're always available, you'll lose the mystery, the excitement, and the allure that comes with a man who has a life of his own. When you give her space, you don't just disappear. You live your life. You focus on your passions, your friends, and your personal growth. This isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate her. It's about recognizing the power of distance. When you're constantly around, there's no room for her to miss you. But when you give her space, you're creating an opportunity for her to realize how much she actually values your presence. Think about it. The most interesting people are the ones who aren't always available, the ones who have their own things going on. When you give her that space, she'll begin to miss you. She'll start to wonder what you're up to, why you're not texting her every minute, and why you're not as easily reachable as you once were. That's when the chase begins. If you've ever been in a situation where someone was always available for you, you know how easy it is to take them for granted. It's the same with women. The more you're always there, the less you're appreciated. But when you pull back a little, you create a sense of desire. She starts wondering why you're not as present, why you're not constantly reaching out. And guess what? That curiosity makes her start to chase you. You don't have to go silent for days or play mind games. Just don't always be the one to initiate contact. Don't always be the one who's available for every little thing. Let her reach out to you. Let her wonder if you're still interested. When you do respond, make it count. Keep it light, keep it cool, and never be overly eager. This approach will drive her crazy in the best way. Give her space to miss you. Don't be afraid to pull back a little. It's one of the most powerful things you can do. When you stop being the guy who's always there, you become the guy she wants to chase. To wrap this up, here's the harsh truth. If you're not making a woman chase you, you're doing it all wrong. There's no reason to sit back, wait for her to come to you, and hope she'll take the lead. You're a man, not a doormat. Stop waiting around for her to decide you're worth her time. When you start living for yourself, when you prioritize your goals, when you create that sense of mystery and value, she will chase you. And if she doesn't, then she's not the one, and that's perfectly fine. Stop chasing women who don't see your worth. A lot of men are stuck in the mindset that they need to be constantly available, constantly trying to impress, constantly seeking approval. Let me tell you something. That's a losing game. If you're bending over backward to keep a woman interested, you'll never be the kind of man she wants. And that's not your fault. It's because you're not seeing your own value. It's time to wake up, recognize your worth, and start making her work for your attention. So, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found yourself chasing a woman only to realize it wasn't worth it? Have you tried pulling back and letting her come to you? Comment below with your experiences, your thoughts, and any questions you have. I want to connect with you. Let's talk about how you're making women chase you and how you're stepping up to be the man who has the power in the relationship. I'll reach out personally because I'm here to help you become the best version of yourself. Keep moving forward and remember, you don't have to chase anyone. When you become the man who's in demand, they'll chase you.